Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Exhibition Cadet Sabir Shah here for my channel Aviation Cadet 9936. Everything started from the boycott held by the Indians against Thailand because Thailand recently held an internal Air Force meeting in which they were declaring how Pakistan shot down so many of Indian aircrafts during the Operation Bunyan Mursus or the Operation Sindhu. So, right at that time, a new video surfaced in which one of their defense attache in Jakarta, Indonesia, was one of the lines were taken out of the whole context, in which she seems to say agreed and we might have lost some jets due to political restraints. So the Congress party in India took that on heart and then started making a campaign against Prime Minister Modi and BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party. And then some of the critics in Pakistan also started saying that, wow, that was another confession from Indians to admit that they lost so many jets. But what's the actual story? I'm going to go for that one today. So stay focused because this is going to be a long video because that is from a seminar that was about 5 hours and 38 minutes long, and I got an access to the whole agenda of the seminar, and I will share those 5 hours and 38 minutes in like less than half an hour. So this seminar was held in University of Suryadarma in Jakarta, Indonesia. I don't know about the background who actually held this seminar. That was on June 10th, 2025, Tuesday, as you can see here. This is the main slide from the Zoom videos, the Zoom meeting. So this was being displayed on the big screen in the university auditorium as well for other students to see. So this university is one of the most famous universities of Indonesia, where they train their future cadets to join Indonesian Air Force, or the officers, they come back and do their higher courses. So the university is run by the Air Force. The MD of the university, the chancellor of the university belongs to Air Force retiree, but yes. So that's the background of that venue where this thing was held. So these were the 5 gentlemen who spoke. Number 1 was Tommy Tamtamil, PhD. Second one was R.D. Surija, MBA, PhD. Number 3 was the Indian defense attaché, Colonel Shiv Kumar. And number 4, these are the certificates given to them at that time, right after the ceremony, to join this thing. So number 4 was Alexander Ludi, MBA. And the 5th one was the Air Vice Marshal of Indonesian Air Force, a serving Air Vice Marshal. And his name is Minggit Tribobo.
As brought out by Bapa Tommy Domtomo, that India lost a lot of aircrafts. I may not agree with him that India lost so many aircrafts, but I do agree that we did lose some aircraft, and that happened only because of the constraint given by the political leadership to not attack the military establishment or their air defenses. But after the loss, we changed our tactics and we went for the military installations. So we first achieved separation of enemy air defense and destruction of enemy air defense, and then that's why all our attacks then could easily go through using and a drone or a UAV can carry very less. So it means the payload cannot be a war of attrition and cost effectiveness. So as the war keeps progressing, the cost factor comes into picture, and it is cheapest if you make it on your own.
So now you can understand that was the full statement, and that was taken out of the context from all the parties. But I mean, this was the reality. This was the man who actually, when it was his turn, he came up with a few slides, and those slides had problems too. And I would address that problem later, that why those slides had problems, mathematical problems, and also the references given at the bottom. But that also goes back to India, because this is what you sow, what you reap. So that's what they reap, so that's what they're going to sow. I would explain later. But this is Mr. Tommy Tamato. This was his speech. He was the first speaker among the five ones, and he's a defense analyst and a chairperson at the Surya Dharma University too. So very knowledgeable person. And well, I mean, I'm sure that his slide was not made by him, but whosoever made the slide got the information from internet, and this internet is full of fake news by Indians. So this is what has happened. So let's continue to his speech, what he said. So this is how he began his speech.
Pakistan and India. So this presentation is not siding with any of the countries, but we are very sad about this actually, because the two countries, our Sukarno first president, is very friendly, very close to Pakistan and to India. Slide, please.
So as you can see, Mr. Tommy Tamtamo, he gave his disclaimer in the beginning that it's not to side with anything, but it's just to uh, present to his students a war that just has happened between two nuclear powered countries, and what lessons can they learn. So that was the whole objective of this whole seminar. So one needs to know that what kind of goals Indonesians want to achieve from this seminar. There was all learning process for their newly cadets and the officers who came for all the courses, the defense courses, the strategic courses, whatever they do over there in the university. So he started off and explaining that what are the aircraft dynamics at the moment. So that's why he gave the example of India Pakistan air battlefield. And then he comes out with a little bit of history that since when this uh, conflict started. So, because he was talking about this specific battle, this specific air power show by both the countries. So he mentioned about the Pahalgam attack. So in his first slide, he shows the AI generated pictures. These pictures were circulated by Indians on the internet. So, I mean, a PhD scholar, of course, his team, the one who made this slide, copied those pictures from uh, Indian outlets for news. Uh, India, still to the day, has not captured even a single person in order to give peace to the victims of the false flag attack, Pahalgam. Now, because Mr. Um, Tamtamo, his specialty is about network-centric warfare. So he was trying to pursue his students that what kind of warfare did both the parties use. So he mentioned all the aircrafts, all the AWACS systems, and then the missiles used and stuff like that. When he moves on to his slide, this is very important. Now, what he wants to tell his students that there were two kinds of systems. One is the platform centric. That means that you are on the ground and you are dependent on the ground information given to the aircraft, the old systems which people used. And then he compares that platform centric system with network centric system. And what does network mean? That you use the satellites, you use all these electromagnetic waves, and then connect every part of the aircraft and missiles and AWACS together using network. So this is what he was trying to emphasize on because this was his theory. He is master of that one. He has done his PhD in these subjects. So you could see that here he gave and he is trying to say that platform-centric system is not better than network-centric system. So we, Indonesian Air Force, should move on to network-centric system like Pakistan. This is also important because when I will present Mr. Shiv Kumar's presentation, he gave the examples of platform-centric system, totally off the topic, totally off what Indonesians want to teach their cadets, and he comes up with platform-centric system examples with pictures. He moves on to the Indian Strike Plan and their arsenals, although MiG-21 was not used, that was Mirage 2000, but again, this is the information collected from the internet, so not his fault. Now here it was miscoded, wrongly presented. It says that all these things happened on May 10th and India achieved these targets. So let me tell you that target number one, Balakot is in Pakistan, okay. Muzaffarabad is in Pakistan, okay. Kotli is in Pakistan, okay. Poonch is in Pakistan, okay. Rajouri is not in Pakistan. Kupwara is not in Pakistan. Mandar is not in Pakistan. Baramulla is not in Pakistan. And Nowshera is not in Pakistan. So these four sites, which mentioned that they were attacked on May 10th, they were in Indian occupied Kashmir. So this precision attack was actually done by Pakistan, not by India. Then he comes to Pakistan's arsenal and mentions JF-17, J-10C, and the Swedish Saab, and then the Chinese AWACS, and of course PL-15. Now he draws a comparison between J-10C and Rafale, and of course Indonesian Air Force is going to buy Rafale very soon, and the shipment is on its way. Next year they're going to get them. So the people were sitting in front who are going to fly in the future the same Rafale. So to give them confidence, he of course told them that Rafale is far better than J-10C, but he did a very honest opinion over here. He said that J-10C is unknown to people, like PL-15. People thought it was 150 kilometers range, but it appeared to be more than 300. So there are many things which we don't know about J-10C, but we know more about Rafale. Indonesia is buying J-10C, by the way. Now, this is where he praised Pakistan Air Force, and he actually mentioned that how Pakistan used the air combat dynamics that AWACS, which has more range than the satellite, the J-10C. So it stayed in silent mode and it detected the Indian Rafales and all the other aircrafts. Then it sent a silent message to J-10C, and J-10C sent the missile towards the victims, and then the AWACS silently got it closer to the target, and that's how Pakistan achieved all these kills. Here he talks about losses which Pakistan has claimed. Three Rafale jets, MiG-29s, Sukhoi 30, and the tactical drone, although there's a Mirage 2000, 5 batteries of S-400, Pakistan claimed only 2. So that was a bit wrong. Again, copied from Indian web sources. Now, this is hilarious. I mean, here, Pakistan summary of losses. Fighter jets, 6. Okay. 440 fleet size. I don't know. We have those many jets. 1.4% reduction. AWACS Saab 2000. Now, look at the quantity lost, 2. Fleet size, 9. Impact, 90% AWACS capability lost. Okay. Do all your math and tell me 2 out of 9 is 90% or less than that, 15 to 16%. That's the problem. But look at the things quoted down. It says the losses were corroborated by both Pakistan claims and independent sources. No, it was all Indian sources, including satellite imagery of statements from military officials. Reddit.com, that's not military officials. Wikipedia link takes you to indiatoday.in. And what does indiatoday.in say? Let's see. This is what India Today says. Operation Sindoor, 9 aircraft lost, drone destroyed, missile blocked, inside details of IAS 4-day onslaught on Pakistan. So everything goes back to Indian own mathematical errors. Then he moves on to the next slide, and that slide shows the green ones are Pakistan, you could see, and the red ones are India. So he said the network centric warfare effectiveness, Pakistan topped in all the parameters given, everything given over here. So this was a praise by Mr. Tommy, and that was so nice of him. Thank you very much, Tommy, for doing this for Pakistan Air Force. So this was pretty much of 20 minutes of Mr. Tommy, and then comes Mr. Satija, R.D. Satija. Now his major was cyber warfare and air power. So he talked mostly about the cyber warfare and air power, that how this works, and again to motivate his students. So he did talk about cyber warfare. So he's talking about situational awareness, anticipation, and then the results coming out, and then a few famous dialogues, and then he's telling that why the cyber war is important. You could see the YouTube video. I will post the link in my description box. And he was trying to make his students aware that how important the digital technology is, and why we should focus on the air power instead of any other warfare. So see, all these two speakers, both of them, they were emphasized on this battle, and so the second speaker was also focused. He hardly mentioned Pakistan-India warfare, but the only thing he said that how the satellite links and the cyber links were used. So he was persuading his students to put more efforts on this kind of strategy. And then Colonel retired Shiv Kumar was asked to come to the podium and deliver his 20-minute presentation on cyber warfare, satellite links, how to integrate the systems, and about the air power. And again, of course, you have to bring in a person from Air Force to talk on these things, or one who is related to these subjects. And you're bringing a naval commander. So this is what is going to happen. This was a disaster. So let's see. Uh, you heard the first two speakers what they said and what the topic was, and look at this guy. What's he talking about?
My presentation, please. Hormati Bapak Tommy Tomtomo, Kang Hormati Bapak Trebowo, Kang Hormati Bapak Alexander Lodi, Bapak Rector, Bapak Ibu-Ibu. At the outset, I want to thank University of Surya Dharma and Indonesian Air Power Studies for the absolute privilege to be sharing the dais with such senior officers.
So the naval commander who had to talk about the air power starts up with the background of India. Like the students over there, they don't know, or the officers over there, they don't know anything about that. One nation theory. I mean, we can clearly see from their presentation that they took all the material from the websites that are linked to the Indian outsources. But I mean, this is what he's trying to teach uh, the officer level people who are going to command Indonesian Air Force, and he's telling them about the two nation theory and one nation theory of India and Pakistan. Wow. What he forgot to tell that in 1948, it was Indian Air Force troops that actually entered the Indian occupied Kashmir. And at that time, they captured the whole Kashmir, but Pakistan took it back after a war. With our local people went and beat their army and get them out of Kashmir. 46% of Kashmir belongs to Pakistan. But anyhow, this is not the thing which people want to hear over there. People were there to, shed some light on the air power and the integration of all the systems, different kinds of systems available in the air, and the air defense system strategies, and how did you make the kills, which they have zero, by the way, 6-0. But that's what you get when you order a defense attaché on Timor. Now, if you see here, the 1971 decisive victory creation of Bangladesh. So you enter into a sovereign country by the UN law, and then you train the people who wanted to get away from the country. Everywhere in the world, they're called terrorists. They are called rebellions, and every country crushes them. And he himself agrees here that in 1971, what they did in Bangladesh was right. So whatever Pakistan is doing in Kashmir allegedly is right too. Tit for tat. We're not doing anything this time, but this is a confession. Now you could see that students over there, they are to learn some, some knowledge bombs dropped, some wisdom things, and look at him, obsessed with Pakistan's Chief of Army Staff, Hafiz Sayyid Asim Munir, although the main guy behind all this Indian embarrassed defeat, 6-0, was the Chief of Air Staff, Zairuddin Sidhu. But yeah, it's okay. And if you see at the bottom, the guy on the left is Adil Raja, a deserter from Pakistan Army, and he was a Indian tout, raw agent in our ranks, and kicked him out. He ran away, and everyone in on Indian media was banned if he's from Pakistan, but they call their own asset, and of course he's gonna talk about whatever he's being paid. The right top one is the Sultan Bashiruddin Mahmud, and he forgot to mention his rank, that he was a lieutenant general retired in Pakistan Army and a scientist. He was a scientist, a nuclear scientist. And yeah, the chief has to go and motivate his people everywhere in the world. That's what chiefs do. Now, here is the proof he has come up with. The Resistance Front, TRF claimed responsibility, which is just newly made by Indians in Kashmir, by Indian Army, just to malign Pakistan, because Pakistan has been recovered, it has been cleared by FATF. So they made a new thingy. This is Indian, totally Indian. Indian Army backed. They claimed the responsibility, but 2 days later, they also denied that one. So Lashkar Taiba doesn't exist anywhere in the world. The FATF are not stupid people. But still, no proof of anything he has presented that Pahalgam was done by any of the Pakistani people. And yet, I think people started to yawn in the audience, and everyone, because I could hear a lot of background sound, like people are talking to each other instead of listening to this man. Or we'll just talk about suspension of 1916 Indus Water Treaty. By the UN laws, no country, no matter under what kind of circumstances they are, to stop water of any other country. Rivers are coming out of China, not only from India. So this was one of the threats Pakistan gave to them, that we will bomb out all the dams which India has made illegally on these rivers. But suspension of this Indus Water Treaty doesn't mean anything to Pakistan. Those rivers are all 6 rivers, and we will take over. Then he moves on to Operation Sindoor. Okay, so this is what his background. I mean, in initial 15 minutes of crap, he was talking about the history of Pakistan, India, the Kashmir conflict, and then mentioning Pakistan's ex-prime minister, and then one deserter from Pakistan army, and then trying to um, uh, persuade the cadets or the students sitting in front of him that they were justified in attacking Pakistan. All he could do was present all those people identities, those who were involved in Pahalgam, and bring up 28 victims' funeral at least, or at least their names. But none of the Indian official could do that. So let's come to Operation Sindoor, what he has to say about that. Vast terror infrastructure created over the last 3 decades, camps for recruitment, indoctrination, and training, and launch pads. Wow. Targets chosen based on credible intelligence. Wow. Deliberate planning and target surveillance through integrated ISR, and then 21 terror camps authorized, shortlisted, and focused on collateral damage or loss to civil, no collateral damage. And then at the left bottom, she gives out these places. Um, these are these are all local mosques in Pakistan, and there are 200,000 mosques in Pakistan. So you could go and attack anyone and then name that those were terrorists. Yet you couldn't find a single Pakistani link to Pahalgam attack, but you found out 4 people were present at 9 places. Okay, their masterminds were there. But I would suggest you, because what you call it, Jamatul Taiba, Lashkar-e-Taiba, is basically the Salafi-based Muslims, the Arabi Salafi Wahhabis, and the mosque Sayyidina Bilal is typically Sunni mosque, and they even fight with each other. So how can they collaborate against India? You know what I mean? So this was totally fake. Simple, innocent civilians were targeted in any of the 9 mosques they picked, and then start shooting at them. So shooting at 9 out of 200,000, I think this is not precision and accuracy. This is, if there are 200,000 things in front of you and you send an arrow, it's gonna hit someone. But what Pakistan did, that 72 targets coming in to Pakistan to attack our civilians, and we choose and we make 6 of them down. This goes to 10% of the accuracy and precision. And then he goes on and mentions the Operation Sindoor targets and what they used. Okay, and then he comes up with the names. Now, these names, look at Murid K, Terror Infra. That's a mosque. 3 of the kids died here. Bahawalpur Mosque. You could see the mosque inside. High value targeted. None. Zero. Wrong. Okay, the funeral. The military personnel you could see over here, his son, 8-year-old son, was killed because their house was located next to the mosque. And that is the reason all these military personnel were there. And because the enemy has attacked you, the enemy has attacked the people of the country, and that's why all the top military um, personals, they were present there. This is what good militaries do. Unlike Indians, they had their military people, they lost their lives, and not even a single funeral was shown. Not even a single military personnel has joined. This demoralized all the other, those who were alive, and that was one of the facts. Demoralization of Indian Army, Indian Air Force, and Indian Navy, that affected a lot. And the guy who was conducting the funeral, this, the man in front, what he claims is wrong. This person is just a commoner, a common person, not even related to any of the ex-Lashkar Taiba's officials. So this was May 7th, and he claims that this was Pakistani response. Gurdwara at Poonch damaged by Pak. Wrong, because Pakistan has clearly in the DGISPR press conference on 7th May, this was on, by the way, on May 7th, before their planes got down, they fired a few BrahMos missiles and they hit the Gurdwara because they wanted to let Sikhs retaliate against Pakistan. All the Sikhs abroad were favoring Pakistan because India has done many atrocities to them. He forgot to mention 2002 Sikh Gurdwara's bombing, where 24 people were killed. And later on, when President Clinton visited India, and they blamed straight away to Pakistan, and later on it came out to be by the whistleblowers that it was an inside job and done by Indians, and that's why he didn't mention that in his slide in the beginning. So this was internally done. Pakistan did not reply, did not say anything. May 7th, May 8th, and May 9th. Then he comes up with different disinformation campaign. He forgot to mention that how Indian media channels, TV channels, mainstream media channels, they said that they have captured a seaport in Lahore city, which is about 1,300 kilometers from the sea, and then Faisalabad city, which is about 1,700 kilometers away from the Arabian Sea. The only cities which are next to the sea are Karachi and Gwadar. One is in Balochistan and one is in Sindh province. And this was the hype they created for their people, and that all fake news. There were no ports in Lahore and Islamabad. So anyhow, he kept on talking about these imaginary targets and trying to tell them that something has happened between 8th, 9th, and 10th from Pakistan. No, only one incident, and I will tell you when and why. On May 8th, they started sending the military munition made by Israel that he also showed in his presentation too. Let me get to that presentation. Here, let me play it. This was near Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium, and we were having our Pakistan Super League match going on, and international cricketers were also there, and they targeted that area on, you can see the date on top. There we go, May 8th, 2025. So this was what they did. They sent about 70 of the uh, Israeli drones. And again, later on, Pakistan did not use any of the main, like H-29, to get these ones. This is from Lahore Airport. This is from Lahore Airport, same place. This one is an old picture. This one is from Lahore Airport. And what happened over here was that there was an air defense truck. All the surveillance and the radar system belongs to Pakistan Army, and a truck that had the normal radar system. So these Israeli drones, what they do, they are there actually trying to seek the air defense system. So they are decoyed in a form of bigger aircrafts, but Pakistan knew right away. So we let them come in, and common people shoot them with their guns. There's a very famous picture of them I can display at the moment, but what I'm saying is that this was on Lahore Airport. So he mentioned the same incident 10 times with different names. Now, Sargodha Air Base. Okay. By the way, according to Indian media, Sargodha Air Base is also, it had nuclear assets, which Pakistan didn't know of, and they started leaking and people started melting. This was Indian media showing on their channels. And see, Sucker Airfield. Now, Sucker Airfield, let's continue. Sucker Airfield, two pictures of the same airfield. Bolari. Bolari Airfield, picture number 3, picture number 4. Okay. Sucker is a place between Karachi and Hyderabad in Sindh province. And the base's name is Bolari, located in Sucker. So here, he wanted to show that these are 4 different places, but actually they are one. Same is the case with Jakarta Airfield, and later it's going to say Shahbaz Airfield, same places. Chaklala, Nurhan are the same places, Nurhan Air Base. Now, we need to keep in mind that this seminar was held to understand the air power system. Where did he discuss that? He is a naval officer. Of course, many people know about the air defense system and everything. Well, he should have been talking about that. That how did India manage to stop all the missiles from Pakistan, or how did they manage to stop the air attack from Pakistan? But instead, he was trying to play with the sentiments of the people that, oh, we were the victims of the terrorism. Now here he says no first use India and Pakistan first use policy, and then what he says at the bottom, and he comes up poses a question: will Pakistan use uh, the nuclear weapons? And listen to the answer he gives by himself. Will Pakistan use nuclear weapon? Let's see. Let's look at the answer. Ooh, he's never, never. Why? Nation ceased to exist. Ha ha. Let me remind people can Google that, Wikipedia that back in 2000, sorry, 1983, 84, when India, because every time Indian forces try to attack Pakistan, most of the times, I mean, and then Mr. General Ziaul Haq, where that time president of Pakistan, he played cricket diplomacy and he went to meet Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. Rajiv Gandhi was the son of Miss Indira Gandhi, who got killed by Sikhs in India on Halloween's day of 1983. And then Rajiv Gandhi, he belongs to Congress Party, and he took over, and he was also killed, by the way, by Tamil Nadu's. The first suicide bombers in the world were trained by Indian military, the LTTE. And so that was a time when, of course, head of state have to be received by the head of states. So once General Ziaul reached there by surprise, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi came over to pick him up because Ziaul was going to watch a cricket match between India and Pakistan played in Mohali. So that was the time when Mr. Zia said to Rajiv that if you dare attack Pakistan, we have the nuclear weapons, we will drop it, and we will make sure that the whole India, no one would be able to take the name of Ram, their God. But same would happen to Pakistan. We would cease to exist. Same would you. No one would be able to take the name of Ram, but there would be 55 other countries taking the name of Allah. And within 2 days, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi ordered his military to take the forces back. So, will Pakistan use nuclear weapons? If you corner us to a place where you start attacking our civilians and you start attacking our, when we have nothing to lose, once our air defense system is totally down, so instead of surrendering to India, yes, we would. Now, if you remember air defense preparedness, in the beginning, Mr. Tommy, when he was talking about the platform-based defense system and then the network-based defense system, look at the examples he's giving. Look at the website he quoted on top, YouTube. I mean, his presentation was copied from somewhere from YouTube. Man, and look at this one. Wow. Wow. So the PhD of Indonesian University, he was trying to persuade their students to try to get your systems integrated to satellite links, cyber links. And then he was giving the example of India-Pakistan air battle, that how Pakistan sufficiently used the stuff and made the things done. And comes the opponent, Indian, and he shows, imagine that. I'm still laughing my ass out. Pakistan drone attacks also reported in. No. Pakistan drone attacks were everywhere on once they attacked the PSL, or cricket stadium. Once there was a game going on, and then we had to stop the game. And that was a time when Pakistan retaliated and sent the Turkish-based drones over there, and then the stadium lights were turned off, and they also evacuated until to the day their cricket league is still pending. I think they had a matches last week, but we already finished our PSL back then. On 12th of May, we started again. We're not scared of these little teeny weeny drones, but this is what has happened. That was on May 9th. So here, actually, this is what Pakistan did to them. So, integrated and layered air defense. On May 10th, none of the air defense was found in India because we already destroyed their S-4 batteries, 5 of them, as proclaimed by Indians. And on May 10th, when Pakistan, after the Nur Khan base attack, when Pakistan started to give them response to that one, none of their aircraft flew. Zero. Not even a single one. And even on May 9th, once they attacked Nur Khan base and Sargodha base, those were surface-to-surface missiles, BrahMos, and nothing from the air, because their air system, they did not know the capabilities of PL-15. They were scared. So next time when he comes, people can ask him, okay, show us your May 10th flight schedule. What kind of planes flew? They parked most of their important planes 300 kilometers away from the border so that PL-15 could not reach to it. And the ones which could not be transported in this time, Pakistan has destroyed them all on May 10th. So fleets of MiG-29s, MiG-21s, and a few Rafales are extinct like Godzilla.
Era is not of war, we want peace, but surely not of terrorism either. Thank you. And the
So that was end of his speech, and then comes the Air Vice Marshal Migitibovo, and his
afternoon, the honorable. Next.
That was a time on the YouTube video. So you could see that he was also trying to persuade the students on technology development and then how to integrate so many systems, because F-15, F-16s, J-10Cs, Rafale, that's all what Indonesian Air Force has. So then he talks about the history of India-Pakistan conflict. He gives the whole history. And then the most important thing, when he slapped the Indian defense attaché, aviationally, he said, and I quote, no, let him quote.
Pakistan operates nine Pakistan have two types, sub and D3. Simulation from fighter Pakistan launched PL-15 with fighter from India. The question is, what duties airborne early warning and control from India? A lack of ability to share data link battlefield, low situation awareness, not expect to be targeted, and focus attacking terrorism camps, not Pakistan Air Force planes.
So you see, this is what he said about air battle India-Pakistan, that IAF Rafales, the AWACS, the airborne early warning and control system, they failed. He says they had lack of ability to share data-linked battlefield, which Pakistan clearly did. Low situational awareness, just like Mr. Naval Colonel Shiv Kumar, defense attaché, had a situational awareness. He didn't know where he was sitting. He thought he was sitting in front of the Indian public instead of Indonesian public, and that's where he was spreading his bullshit. And then he says, not expect to be targeted, and this is exactly what happened. See how they showed, confused. And then he says, focus attacking terrorist camps, not PF planes. Yes, this is exactly what has happened. They thought that they were, I don't know who assured them that Pakistan is not going to retaliate, but if you kill civilians, common people, women, children. You think that that Air Force is sleeping? And this is how we caught them. Correct. Exactly the same thing. We caught them unaware. And this is what makes us stronger. So eventually, in the end, there was a question answer session of that seminar, and trust me, none of them asked questions from Mr. Shiv Kumar. None. And then in the end, the presentation and certificates were given to all of them. And in the end, the picture session.
Siap? Satu, dua, tiga. Satu, dua, tiga. Salam Dirgantara. Salam Dirgantara. Satu, dua, tiga. Satu, dua, tiga.
So that's also the end of my presentation. So now you know that what has actually happened over there. I hope you like this video. See you next time. Allah.